this is Colleen with Chats with Colleen, and we're so glad that you're joining us for our bi-weekly podcast edition. This week is part 2 with Victoria Dumé. We are going to discuss more about AI, likes, dislikes, more about her brand, her message, and how she helps fuel other women, other entrepreneurs, and pretty much anybody. She is super relatable. She's also an author. Her books and planners are available on Amazon. I actually just purchased one. I'm so excited. Last weekend, we did her Create Hers conference, and it was amazing. The women there, the whole vibe, it was super professional, but super laid back all at the same time. Everybody was welcoming, accepting, and encouraging of others. So if you're available next year, check it out. Also check out her and her website and her social media feeds. We're going to list them below. Thank you so much. Remember, our podcast is for informational purposes only. If you would love to come on, please reach out to us. We would love to have you via Zoom or in person in Lake Mary, Florida. Also, if you have any questions or concerns, we're ready to hear that too. So thank you so much and enjoy the show.
I'm a believer that in everything in life, you're creating. You are the creator of everything in your life. So if work is hard and it's challenging and you can never make money, or there's always something happening to make you lose money, you're creating that scenario because you have an unconscious belief and pattern around money or around work that is creating that scenario. The choices you're making, the decisions you're making, the things you say yes to, the people you're partnering with are all in alignment of the core belief. And that if that belief is that money is hard to get, partnerships are hard to get, life is hard, work is hard, you're going to make choices from that. And of course, you're going to perpetuate this pattern. So you're the victim to this core belief. That was life-changing to me, Colleen. When I realized, shit, I have this belief about money and that's why money is this way. Or I have this belief about men, right? Women, God. I remember my first mentor in life. I said something to her and she said, wow, you have a really bad view of God. And I was so mad. I'm like, how dare you? Like, I love God and I'm a Christian and I go to church. But what she was showing me was because of my lack and limitation on myself, limited who God really was and could be in my life by
Wow.
my own self-worth issues. So that's true self-awareness, is to take radical responsibility that you are the creator and that if something is not happening the way you want it, you got to take personal responsibility and say, how am I creating this situation? And if I say, oh, I'm never on time and I can never be organized and that's just hard and I can never speak, well, guess what? You're creating your reality.
Right.
So you're not shifting that. And I think that self-awareness is layers. There's what's at the surface and there's something that's way deeper and it could even go even deeper, right? I started becoming self-aware that some of the things that I was carrying in my life wasn't even mine. It was my parents. I was like, wait, I have shame because of my parents and my grandparents. Like we carry these multi-generational beliefs and traumas in our body. Like our body keeps the score, even though that now is like a big thing that people are talking about. Like our somatic body, our nervous systems, let's talk about our nervous systems get triggered into fight or flight based on not just what we've experienced in life, but what our parents experienced in life. So they've had all these studies about that. And so that is what self-awareness is. Self-awareness is like to me, self-awareness is to recognize your core beliefs about what you believe in life is, and then taking responsibility, saying, if I want my life to change, I had to change something in me, inner work, and then the external shifts. So,
Wow. And that is difficult to do. It's like negative talk. Like, how would you get like these negative thoughts? Like the thing you said, I'm always late. I'm not organized. I suck. I'm horrible. I'm fat. All this crazy stuff that we say in our head. Like, how do we? It's like, I know they always say, pick out the positive, pick out the positive stuff. But I'm going to tell you, that's really hard to do sometimes.
yeah, I think that, things implement into us because of repetition, like when what you practice, you become good at. And for me, the reason my brand is called Fueled by Gratitude, my umbrella company is called Fueled by Gratitude. Our events are called Her Immersions, right? A movement fueled by gratitude. My whole lifestyle brand is called Fueled by Gratitude. I have the Fueled by Gratitude podcast, all of that. The reason, Colleen, that it is called Fueled by Gratitude is because of actually what I studied around the heart and brain coherence. We're energetic beings. So we are wired already to do and think a certain way. We're already wired that way. So in order to rewire that, we have to take conscious effort to rewire that because if not, we default to our mode. So if our mode is to already think a certain way, we have to consciously choose to rewire that mode. And the cool thing is based on neuroscience is that you can. Our brains can change neuroplasticity, right? So Fueled by Gratitude was birthed because I started to learn that our hearts sync with our brain and those two together. This is research done on the Heart Math Institute. When you can activate the heart with intention, it starts to work with the brain. It's called heart and brain coherence. Think about coherence. They start to sync. And our hearts are like the biggest magnetic tool we have in our entire bodies. They kind of like didn't share that with us, but our hearts have an electromagnetic field that expands like 3 feet out. And that is the energetic field in which we vibrate, we resonances. So if you've studied the law of attraction, this is where the law of attraction it plays out, right? We have an energy that is dictated by the heart. When you can sync your hearts with certain emotions like gratitude, appreciation, authenticity, it starts to rewire the brain, which is what the heart brain coherence thing is. So gratitude is actually one of the most easiest way to start to rewire that brain. So when we notice I'm thinking a lot in scarcity and I beat myself up and I have a lot of shame and I have a lot of guilt, you can actually reset with gratitude, which is what I did, right? So you like you were saying, it seems like it's not a deep practice because you're like, oh, I'm just going to be positive. It's not about positivity. It's about authentic gratitude to start to shift where things are going great, to find the ways in which things are going great. When you start to do that, your reticular activator in your brain already starts to change and it starts to find evidence more of what you are starting to train it with gratitude. Does that make sense? So, like, you can start with gratitude is the easiest way. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrations, but it has to be authentic gratitude. It can't be fake gratitude. I call it toxic gratitude, right? Like, okay, let's do gratitude. I'm so grateful I have a roof over my head. Well, that ain't working. Your heart's not expanding because you're just saying that, right? Oh, I'm so glad I have a job and I can just pay for my bills. No. When you can literally activate your heart with like significant gratitude, that vibration starts to change the brain and starts to rewire it differently. Slowly, with constant, right? Practice, right? What you practice expands, what you practice grows, what you flex, the muscle grows. When you start to shift and be conscious, intentional, I'm going to find the ways where I can be in gratitude. I started a gratitude bell practice. You will start to slowly shift. Now, all of a sudden, your brain's job is to find you more evidence of what you are starting to signal. So now you're all of a sudden just going to start finding, like, wow, like the things that you see start to change, right? When you change the way you look at something, what you look at changes. That's a quote. So when you change the way you look at something, what you look at changes. So now you all of a sudden, what you used to see as the cup half empty, you automatically start seeing it the cup half full, right? That metaphor. This starts to change your life, and this starts.
Victoria?
All of them are positive chemical reactions. So it's anti-inflammatory, immune boosting, heightened intuition. I mean, like anti-age, like you're literally healing the body and you're rewiring your body, your mind to start to reset with the positive, right? More of the gratitude, possibilities open. That's why they say law of attraction is not just like some fake thing. Like if you truly apply the practices of what the law of attraction teaches, you will start to see all of a sudden, oh my God, I didn't notice this before. You're in the right room at the right place, the right offerings come in. You just start with the heart and the brain, and all will change. So, yeah, I'm telling you, we could talk for hours about this stuff because this is
We
stuff that I've
could.
researched for years. But I know people think that gratitude practice is cliche and very surface, but
Yes.
if you truly, truly start an intentional gratitude practice, and what I mean by intention, that it's something that you are bringing along for the day, not just something you just do in the morning, like you write gratitude in the morning. We're talking about consciously choosing to reset throughout the day. I got a bell, so I was ringing a bell all throughout the day. And it'll change you. I have testimonies from people doing it too. That's how Fueled by Gratitude started. Like the lifestyle brand. So it, I tell people like don't take for granted what gratitude really can do with your heart and brain, and just test it. Test it and see.
Right. Like you said, it has to be deeper, not just I'm grateful for my house and my friends and my family. That's all, like you said, that's just all generic stuff.
Yeah. And
Generic. Yeah.
you don't want it to just be like a checklist, like, okay, let me write 5 things I'm grateful for. That's not changing you. It's not immersive, it's not integrating into the mind and body.
Right. Yeah. It's got to be big. And then what do you hope that your work leaves on, women that you work with specifically and in these groups and these events that you do? How do you want them to leave like feeling?
Well, so number one, I want them to feel that the event was like no other event. Um, and by that I mean that this event talked about the things that other events are not. I want them to have some form of integrative experience that allowed them to feel something deeper and moved. Um, and then, like one of my big goals in my events, especially like our quarterly connector events, is that we're having deeper conversations. I want to get out of the surface. Like we were talking about the self-awareness. A lot of the women are self-aware in some level. I want them to I want to activate them for something deeper. Even if that's planting a seed that says, this is something I need to look at. This is an area of my life I need to look at. Number one, I want to plant that seed. And I want them to be moved enough to be like, I need help and I need to get connected and into the resources that are available in this community, or even if it's like seeking that next step, right? The biggest goal, I will be honest with you, and I call it the Oprah effect. I, and whether you like Oprah or not, we can't deny the fact that Oprah is probably one of the world's biggest expanders. If you get on the Oprah show, right, or if you've been mentioned by Oprah, your business grows, right? Your business explodes. This is why I started the expanders. My big, big goal in the community that I'm building is I want to be expander for people's visions and dreams. I would love, nothing would thrill me more to hear a future testimony from someone who grew their business or their life changed because of a connection that they made at one of our immersive experiences. My goal is that they make connection and they are shown tools and systems that can be life-changing to the point where they're they're gonna expand their life, whether it's in a relationship, money, business, opportunities. That is my goal always. Like I secretly hope that they're meeting someone that is going to change their life. I'm secretly hoping that they start to implement and integrate a tool like breath work or something that they're going to come back and be like, oh my gosh, I got introduced to breath work at your event. And because of that, I healed my anxiety, right? Like that is like, okay, cool. Even if it's planting a seed. But I think my biggest thing is I want to have like the Oprah effect. Like that's my big goal is I want to see women in my circle that are all killing it in life. Like I have this big vision that one day I'm going to walk on stage at a big conference that I'm hosting, and I'm walking on with like my expanders on stage, and every single one of them are like New York Times bestsellers or have, the number one this. Like I want to create this culture of women, badass women's who's making impact in their lives and making impact in their businesses. And like that is my goal. I want to have like the Oprah effect in women. Um, and I just want to I want to hold space for that. I would be more happy. I know that some people are not going to believe this. I would be more happy to see someone 10x their life bigger than what I'm doing because of something that I was able to do for them. Like, I think it was Oprah who said it like, sometimes we plant the seeds that will grow into trees that will reap fruit that we will never benefit from. And that I love. I'm like, if I can plant a seed in someone's life that will grow into a business for them that I don't personally like benefit from, I did the job, right? Like I created the space for that. And that's really my long term, like what I see. I want people to leave with tools and visions, and I want them to manifest like the most incredible life for themselves. And I want to be a source of transformation. That's the word. I want to be a source of transformation for their lives.
Yes, that's good. That's a good one. So I learned a lot today, which we have to do this again. I learned that you're an author. I didn't know that you wrote a book.
Yes,
So
I
I
wrote a
definitely
book.
need to check that out. Hmm.
It's on Amazon and it's an easy read. I'm gonna see if I have it here with me. It's sectioned into three sections called Reveal, Love, Manifest. And each section is days. And I did it in it's a 63-day format, going back to the neuroscience, because it's 3 cycles of 21 days where we can start to like build a real true habit and shift. So yeah, it's on Amazon. You can check it out. And
Good.
it's great for like a daily read and you just kind of reflect. There's a reading for each day, and there's some questions for those reflectors. So,
What is a few tips that you could give people that little things that they could do every day that would help keep them grounded and maybe like more balanced, like a
yeah.
calmer, quieter mind? I don't know. It's not going to take it away 100%, but what's just a few
Yeah, no.
tips?
I
Hmm.
think my biggest tip is this is don't overcomplicate what you think you need to do to feel change to transform. I think a lot of the times people think like, we got to wake up at 5 a.m. and I got to do a 30-minute meditation and then I got to do this and I got to journal this and I got like if you already make the process like overwhelming, your nervous system is going to be like, bitch, we don't even have time to fold our laundry and now you want me to wake up at like, the butt crack of dawn and meditate for 30 minutes. Like you're already going to trigger your nervous system for failure. And I
Right.
think like the biggest advice that I always give people is like don't overwhelm the practice because you wouldn't go to the gym if you've never lifted 50 pounds. You can't expect to lift 50 pounds consistently, right? Your body's like, like start easy. Start with the little things. And then eventually you're training your nervous system to be like, oh, we can do this. Like, and our any new thing that you want to do to start feeling better starts with allowing your nervous, like expanding your capacity, right? Let's talk about capacity. You have to stretch your bodies and your mind, your nervous system's capacity to be able to handle that. So I always tell people, don't overcomplicate it. Start with literally, if it's 15 minutes when you wake up, don't touch your phone. Don't touch your phone. Like, or if you have to touch it, make sure notifications are turned off. What I mean by don't touch your phone is don't open the apps. Start with that. That little thing of not opening your phone and literally your brain, first of all, when you wake up, your brain is still in like hypnosis stage. I tell people the prime time to actually manifest is right when you wake up because you're in hypnosis stage. You can literally rewire your brain right there because the waves in your brain are ready to reprogram. So why would you want to pick up your phone, check your email, go on Instagram, go on TikTok, and then just start getting bombarded with information? Your body just went into fight or flight like that because you picked up your phone. So start with something like little, like I'm not going to touch my phone and I'm going to just do a little, right? It could be right in bed. Maybe you're still tired. I put my hand on my heart and I just do a little bit of gratitude. Thank you for today. Thank you for the opportunities that are coming their way. Thank you for the protection. I always thank God for the protection that I have. I always thank God for the angels that are charging over me, like little things, right? Thank you for the angels that are protecting me today. Thank you for the direction in which you're giving me. So I think it's like little shifts. The other thing we were talking about before we hit the record button, going outside for the breaks. We live in Florida. I don't know where people are listening on this podcast from, where you're from, but like I like to put my feet on grass. I work from home. I have the pleasure of working from home. Even if I don't, I would still go outside. Go soak up the sun. Take three biggest deep breaths that you probably taken all day, the breath alone will start to signal your nervous system like we're actually okay. We're not needing to fight or flight. So it's just like little things, like don't make it overcomplicated. Start with a little shift. Start with a walk at night. Start with a morning walk if you can, if you have the ability to do that. I've had people tell me how they just started with walking more and how that changed their life in terms of anxiety and depression. Just walking.
Yeah, it's huge. It does.
So pick something, and then every personality is different. The other tip I will say this is what works for me may not work for you, and that's okay. There is nothing wrong with you if you don't like breath work. That's fine. Find another nervous system tool. Maybe it's shaking your ass off to a 3-minute song. Like put on some Shakira or whatever, or Bad Bunny and shake it off, right? Like maybe that's what it is. Like, but you won't know until you try it. And I think that when you listen, a lot of people go online and they're like, the 5 things that every woman should do. And da, da, da. It's like, no, no, not every woman. Like you should do, you're a bio individual. Not we are not all the same. You're a bio individual, and what works for someone may not work for you. But once you just try a little, maybe it's the walk, maybe it's shaking your ass off, maybe it's taking a dance class, maybe it's going outside of your house once a month or once a week to go to a paint class or whatever it is, you know? So it's like, I feel like don't make it overcomplicated. It's tip number one. Find 1 or 2 things that are really short that you can do throughout the day and test different regulation tips that will signal your nervous system for just that rest so that we don't burn out and we can be more conscious. I think the big thing too is try to figure out boundaries with your phone. I think for me, like I don't have any notifications turned on. So like my phone won't tell me if I have a messenger app, a messenger message unless I'm logging on to Instagram and all that. I don't have my Facebook Messenger notifying me. And I think I know that's gonna be hard for people because you're wired to like needing their
Yeah.
stuff, but like I also put my phone on work mode, so it's on silent when I want to concentrate, so it's not dinging. You know, little things like that can make such a long-term impact when you start to realize you're not no longer addicted to your phone, when you're not constantly having to grab your phone it starts to slowly rewire. So sometimes it's not about like the big, huge, drastic changes. It starts with these small little things that then lead you to notice things differently, more regulated, and they trickle into other areas of our life. They start to make more, our nervous system has more capacity to start, oh my God, now I'm putting the laundry away when it's just done. Like you're not working to try to get the laundry put away every time, but you'll notice how all of a sudden that was an overflow effect from like you not checking your phone when you first wake up. Does that make sense? Like you'll
Yes.
start to see how it overflows in other areas. You'll also start noting your mood regulation. You're not as snappy, you're not as moody because you started going to walk more or because you started to shake your ass off to a Shakira song every day. Like you may not see the connection, but you'll start to see naturally the connection later. So don't focus on like perfecting your routine and don't focus on an exact result. Like, oh, I need to see myself start waking up this. Like, no, don't set an expectation. Let it naturally progress into where all of a sudden you're noticing you're different, you're acting different, you're speaking different, you're showing up in this area of your life differently. But just don't, it's like that, I call it the Miyagi move. Like, the Karate Kid. Did you grow up with Karate Kid?
Yeah.
Where you know, he had to like paint the fence and wax the floor, and he thinks it has nothing to do with karate until it does. And I think that sometimes we have big goals. Don't worry about the goal. Worry about like teaching safety in your body and not burning out and having better routine and habits in certain areas and watch how all of a sudden you become a badass, in another area of your life because you were like shaking your ass off to Shakira for 3 minutes a day. So yeah, I think that's the biggest tip, the tips that I have.
Those are great tips. So, how can people get in contact with you if they're interested in attending your events or being a partner with you for the events or
Yeah,
anything
I think
else?
I think the biggest way is I am active on social media, very active in my stories. We have my personal page is Your Gratitude Coach, and then our events page is called Fueled by Gratitude, the Her Immersions. So get it, just follow along either of those pages. We talk about our upcoming events, And then they can join our event mailing list by just going on our events page. It's link in bio on my Instagram page, which I can share with you. I'm sure you have it. You can link
Mhm.
it in the podcast show notes and
Yes.
can just connect and put their email in any of our event lists or events and to know more what's coming up. And they can always just find out via email if they are one of those people who love to get emails. But if they're on social media, they can follow on my Facebook page, which is my name, and then the Instagram handles that I just shared. So that's probably the best way. And then I would totally encourage them to come to an event because they can feel what sets us apart. We have different types of events. So not one event is the same. They're different. We have women that love all of them. We have women that love one more than the others. And yeah, we have women that have come to every retreat. And that's their favorite event, and they make it a weekend thing. And then they don't really come maybe like to the quarterly brunches, but so it's like we have different community for different things and different experiences. Like I said, not one person's the same. So you kind of come, check it out, and you'll see what vibes with you. And that's what I kind of love about having a catalog of immersive experiences because it's like they're all unique and they all serve different purposes and intentions.
Yeah. They're great. I can't wait to attend them.
Yes, I'm
After
excited.
hearing all this, I feel like I need a lot of this in my life. The boundaries with the phone, boundaries with people, boundaries even with myself. So that's like all great advice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm
But I,
really big on alignment. I think that like when
yes.
you're aligning for, whether it's your business, your health, relationships, like if you have a certain expectation, like if you are working towards a goal, when you do take time for like what we're talking about, the inner work, like naturally certain things will start to align. Like I can't tell you how many times where I've like thought of something and then like the person texts me, like I bought, we bought I was doing flower carts. I don't know if you heard the story, but like
Seen
I
flower carts, but I
we
don't
do,
know the story.
yeah,
Hmm.
we do flower carts for a lot of events, and I usually set up this other thing. And anyways, so I end up ordering like an actual like flower cart, like a flower thing, like because we set it up differently at different events. Literally the day that I order the flower cart, I get a message from one of my event hosts, like the event venues. They're like, "Hey, we're having an event. Do you want to do a flower cart?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I just literally ordered." Just like little things like that, where like I just stay in alignment and I tune into my intuition, and then the rest kind of falls, right? Like people's connecting me to people, and then like I have a vision for like, we're gonna have you as a partner, like I have an idea of like the ideal partnerships and like who would be great and who's great for the community and how it works. And then the conversations happen. Like Ashley led me to you, and I'm like, there's no coincidences that I'm finding people that are, I like to use the word heart mind, like you know how they say like-minded? I say like heart-minded because it's not about the mind, it's more about the heart. And I want to partner with people that have a heart like me. And that is true to like the brand. And that is so important to me. And it's so amazing how those alignments happen because I'm so big on like being true to myself and doing the inner work. Because if not, we run into chaos and we run into so much bullshit that we don't want to be a part of, because we're not paying
Yes.
attention to ourselves. We're not paying attention to what's true to us. So yeah, I think that's important.
That's awesome. This is so great. But it's a nice way to start a weekend. So I hope you have a nice long weekend.
Yes, I am because Monday is a holiday, so I'm definitely, yeah, taking time for me time for sure.
And I know there's, yeah, and I know all the information in this podcast recording it will be really helpful to some people and to teach them about like, because we talked about a great variety of
Yes,
items. So it was really
yeah,
good.
I
So
know. I
thank
feel like
you.
every time I talk with you, I'm like, we could talk about this for hours.
We could talk about a lot of stuff. Yeah, unfortunately, I like to talk. So we would, if people are like never know what we're going to get
Yeah,
into.
yeah, I love it. Well, thank you again for
Thank you.
inviting me to the podcast. This was great, and I'm definitely fueled even more in gratitude after having this conversation with you.
Me too. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening and joining us on our podcast episode that's posted bi-weekly. Again, we would love if you would like and share and subscribe to our podcast. It means the world to us and it helps our guests so much. Remember, if you would like to join us, you can do so at any time. We record in person or on Zoom anywhere in the world. Also, our podcast is produced by Sean Spazzato and it's hosted by me, Miss Colleen Pacheco. Please like and share our Facebook pages, which is Colleen Pacheco and Secured Insurance Group. Our Instagram is Colleen Insurance Lady 22, and our cover art is edited by Norma Pacheco. We appreciate you so much, and thank you so much for taking the time to join us.